first PTO meeting. We're excited. The AC committee and the principals are excited to get the year off to a great start. And with that is our first meeting of the year, which is on my birthday. So it's a great day already. My name is Jeff Schrammel. I'm the PTO president, and we want to do some quick introductions with first the primary campus president, or excuse me, principal, same thing, Tom Mooney, and the Waubesa intermediate principal, Sue Murphy, who's just coming in. Also, I wanted to introduce the advisory committee members, and I'm going to wing this a little bit, but we have Justin Dean right here, who's one of the members at large, and he's been helping us with lots of different procurements of things as we start here. Tim Connor is the past president and has been helping us out with everything from start to finish to get us back on track. And Carrie Templeton is a member at large. Teresa Pimentel is a member at large. Stephanie Farrelline is a member at large. Jennifer Eaton-Amrine is a member at large, right? Christine Punzel is the secretary. Lisa Soto, who's not here, is the treasurer, and I'm the president. Am I missing anybody from the AC committee? And I started last year on the AC committee, and we had an unbelievable group of people, which is why I got motivated to be president. I was like, what a great group of people. And everyone that stepped in to fill in those positions, I have even greater confidence that we're doing even a better job this year. We're off to a great start already. So we're real excited. We're a real fun group that when we get together to talk about things. And we hope that we can be a good conduit between the parents and the teachers and to help the principals out as much as we can to make our campuses as strong and as successful as they can be. So with that, we're going to start with one of our topics of tonight's agenda, and that is the food service. Director Sherry Cobbs. Where's Sherry here? Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
Yeah, see, I get to meet people as we go along too. And you know, we've talked in the meetings how, you know, Jack will look at the menu and we don't even know sure what it is, the giblets versus the nuggets or, you know, those types of things. So we thought we'd bring in the expert, and that's why we got Sherry here to talk to us for a little while. So why don't you fire
Well, I
away?
actually have a couple examples of some of the things that were asked about and some other things that maybe the way that I'm menuing them versus the way that they're offered to me. I've got some samples of the chicken bites, which is a boneless chicken, like a little boneless chicken tender that has a very light teriyaki glaze on it. I also brought a barbecue pork bite, which is a boneless pork riblet. It's a very small little piece that they get 3 of that's got a honey barbecue sauce on it. I cut some in half and heated those up. I also brought some of the sweet potato bites, and I also brought some of the mini baked potatoes. And so if any of you want to go up and try them, feel free. I also brought some samples of what they look like of the wrap that we're trying to do this year. We didn't have as high of counts last Friday as I thought that we would maybe have. So we're hoping, I want to do it like every month or every 5 or 6 weeks so that we can get the kids, you know, accustomed to having it. My understanding is all the kids that got this one last week really liked it. We are putting a drizzle of ranch dressing on, turkey and shredded cheese, and then giving those to the students and letting them go to a table and choose other options they want to put on it, like lettuce, tomato, peppers, cucumbers, black olives, and anything else that we think the kids might want to put on it. They can take anything from the garden bars, which are out every day for the kids, and we are so pleased with how much the kids are eating and eating and eating off the garden bar. We've had to increase the amounts not only at the higher levels, but even at Conrad Elvium, because the first couple days, those little ones went crazy with the garden bar, and it was just wonderful to see them trying and eating these things. And my ladies are telling me that the trays are coming back pretty empty. So if they're taking it, they're eating it. I think that's just wonderful. I brought a sample of what's on this Friday, which is a ham and cheese bread bowl. It's a small hollowed out bread bowl that's a whole grain rich bread bowl. And then we put diced turkey ham that we heat up, and then we put cheese on it and then put it back in the oven so that it melts. And I did them quick in the microwave just so you guys could see what they look like. They're not as melty as I would have hoped they would have been, but I was kind of going on the fly. So if you guys want to go and try any of that stuff, please feel free. What questions do you guys have for me on the menu items that you're not quite, you know, you're wondering what they are consisting of?
What's a Bosco stick?
A Bosco stick is a cheese-filled breadstick that is whole grain rich. and it's got low-fat mozzarella cheese in it, and then we give the kids either a reduced sodium pizza sauce or marinara sauce if they can dip in it.
And why don't we just take a moment of time and you can just walk over
Yeah,
and check out the samples
and I'll take the
stuff like
covers
that.
off. I got some plates
Yep.
and stuff. If anybody wants to look at the stuff or try it,
Samples.
please feel
We're
free.
gonna start cracking some
I
birthday
tried to have
cupcakes
it.
and things as well. Okay. Turn this up a notch. A couple of the questions that I was asked were about the prices of the meals. And this year, the elementary price, which is K through 5, is $2.60. And for a 5-day week, that's $13. And I have some copies of we have a chart that Jeff Mahoney created a couple years ago for us that's on the website. So you can use that as a reference guide. There was a question that was posed to me about how much money people should put in their account. And that's kind of up to how often you think your kids are going to eat. So maybe a month's worth for how many times a week they're probably going to eat or will eat is probably the best answer I can give you, depending upon how many children you have and what grade levels they're in. So that was kind of a tough question for me to try and answer. For breakfast this year, I sat down with my staff and we developed a new 2-week menu cycle for K through 5. And I have it listed right here, and I believe that Beth is putting this or has put this on the website. I've got some copies of it. I did a look today about how we're doing with breakfast, and it seems like at our grade school levels, we're getting more students that are utilizing our program. And we have this program to help the kids that don't have time to get breakfast at home or don't actually have something for breakfast at home so that they're ready to learn for their day. And that's what we're hoping, that we get more students involved and get them to come in and have something so they have a good base in their stomach for when they start their day. What
And
time
to help them
does that
through their school day. At this building, it starts at 7:30, yes, 7:30. Indian Mound is 7:15, the high school is 7, and primary is also 7:30. Until the students have to go start their day in class. Let's see. I have been looking on, there's 2 states that have some really good lunch assistance for their state people and for just about anybody. And Ohio's got some really good menus and some really good recipes that are very much so based on the new guidelines that we've been given. And I'm trying to incorporate some of those items. And next week there is a fiesta bake that we have on, let me see what I named it, what they called it. A fiesta pasta bake. And it is a ground turkey that has rotini sauce and some Mexican seasonings, taco type seasonings, and then we're gonna put a little bit of shredded cheese and some crushed up tortillas on top. They've got some really interesting things that I don't know if the students here will be familiar with or wanna try, but I wanna keep trying to incorporate some of them. I found a really good spinach salad with fresh strawberries and some other items and some seasonings added to it. I found a broccoli salad that's got honey and vinegar and a few other items that I'm gonna try in the next couple weeks to get some more different vegetable things for the students to try. If any of you have any suggestions that we could try, please feel free to email me, give me a call. If you've got any recipes you want me to try, stuff that your kids like, please do so, because we wanna make our garden bars so that they're things that the kids look forward to and will definitely utilize. What was the other thing she wanted to ask? Food allergies was one of the ones that was brought up to me. I just want to make sure that if there is an allergy, that you're making the schools aware of it and making sure you've got something on file with the nurse's office. If you have specific questions about menu items, which I know that Mrs. Templeton has done with me, if you just let me know what items you want me to look up for you for specific allergies, I will gladly do that for you and get back to you as soon as I can. Once you look at the menu or something your children say they see at home or at school when they get home, feel free to let me know, and so I can look it up on my resources to see if it's something that your students should avoid or not. All the kitchens have a list of all the kids with allergies, And like Waubesa's is right between that silver pillar, it's right on the other side. It's got the student's picture and what their medical issues are. So my staff will become familiar with them relatively soon and know who they are and know what to help them go through. But encourage your kids to let the ladies know so they know who they are. And I know that Dawn is really trying to work with, not Dawn, Rhonda's trying to work with your son, and she knows who he is now, so she's aware of it, and she'll be looking out for him for that, with that issue the whole school year.
Yeah, it's been really great.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's working, because I went to her right away and spoke to her. Does anybody have any questions?
Can kids order doubles or get seconds?
At the grade school level, they can. They can feel free and come up and get any more fruits and vegetables that they want. We have specific guidelines that were put in place last year. I've got to be within a 550 to 650 weekly calorie range for grade school kids. So if we give them a second sandwich, that's going to bump them way, way over, and we're not going to be in compliance with what we have to do. So I'm sorry we can't do that. But they've loosened up some of the requirements. They gave us very specific numbers last year of the numbers of grains and proteins that we could give to K through 5. And it was really tough for some of us to get our calories in to give the kids a full meal without adding some things that were not quite as filling as maybe an extra grain. So they opened up that requirement temporarily the end of last year, all through this year, and we think that USDA is going to open it up permanently. As long as we can stay within the calorie ranges that they've given us to stay in for the entire week, then we'll be okay, and we have more flexibility to menu what works well in our areas.
Yeah, my son has complained about the milk since it's changed over last year. He says it doesn't taste good. Do you know, have you gotten any other complaints about that?
Golden Guernsey went into bankruptcy, which most of you probably know about. We now get our milk from the same delivery company, which is Mapleton Dairy. They were able to get the proprietary formula or recipe for the chocolate milk that Golden Guernsey was using. So at the end of last school year, they got that recipe. So has your son tried the milk this year?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know he said last year, like we had some that was like curdled and it was really gross, and so I'm just being turned off from it. So
Okay.
I said I would ask.
You know, encourage him to try it. I brought in some samples to this building actually, of the new stuff. They brought me in some really big, like 2-pint things, and I put it in plastic glasses and asked some of the kids to come up and try it, and they came right to this door, and they all really liked it. And so most of the schools in this area that use the same company and get their milk through Mapleton are using the new formula now, and it seems to be going over very well. So I would encourage him to try one, and that might help
So
him.
it's different than it was.
It is. It's a different recipe. And that's how I explained it to the kids. It's a different recipe, just like your brownies might be different than your brownies because you're using a different recipe. And it's just they had to get that recipe and get the permission to use it.
Sherry,
Yes.
you said a company that took over Golden Guernsey was Mapleton?
No, Mapleton is the dairy hauler.
Oh, okay. All right, do you know who?
And you have to go look because I can't remember if we have Kemp's or if we have,
Okay.
if you look inside that milk cooler, it'll tell you what we've got.
Okay, yeah.
But they didn't have the proprietary ability to use that recipe. It's Kemp's? Okay, I thought it was Kemp's. But now they do. Now they were given it probably sometime in May.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll just say, I work in the cafeteria here twice a week, and I have not heard any complaints this year. I was here when it switched over last year, and there were complaints, but I haven't heard anything this year, so hopefully that's a good sign.
We just got to get him to try it. If he tries it, I'm sure he'll like it.
Do you know my son?
I'm just being positive.
Now, do the kids get milk at a time other than lunchtime? Like
K
for
through
snack?
5 has a morning milk break that the students can choose to get milk, and the two principals can probably answer that question better than myself. Because we administer, you know, the pricing, and we administer the funding for it, and you know how the payments go through our system. But they administer what time it's done, and how the teachers get the milk for the kids. Any specific questions about that?
No.
Okay.
How long do they take to eat the lunch? Normally, like 30 minutes or 20 minutes?
I can share what we do.
Yeah, go ahead.
At Calorie School, We scatter our lunch start time. They either come in about 10:55 or 11 o'clock. And usually they have at least 15 minutes. And they sit at assigned tables, and then we number those tables so we know which class came in first versus last. And that's how we dismiss the table. So they're in there for a minimum of 15 minutes. Once we dismiss their table, we always tell them that if you aren't finished, stay there and you continue to eat. But by 11:25, we'd like to have everybody, exiting the lunchroom by then. Very similar to what we do at the primary school. So. I'm not sure what the
Yeah,
student is.
we don't have assigned tables, but we make them stay at least 15. If it were up to some of them, they'd be out in 2. Yes. So we ask them to at least stay for 15, but they can stay up to 30 if they need to, if they take longer to eat.
Any other questions for Sherry? Yep.
Are there still hot lunch alternatives?
Yes. They can choose a peanut butter and jelly Uncrustable. When we're not using Uncrustables this year. Last year, when Smucker's had the big peanut recall, they got out of the USDA commodity business. They will no longer take USDA peanuts. They will only deal with their own peanuts. And we have the ability, when I get funding from the USDA for different foods that we can use, and I can send bulk peanut butter to a company. We're now using, it's called a Jamwich from Advanced Pierre. A lot of schools switched to that this year. I bought about 35 cases of Uncrustables at the end of the school year last year, knowing that it was going to change and the price was going to go way up. We're finally out of those, but I can't get the ones I want. I've been trying for 4 weeks. Since before school started, Advanced Pierre got slammed and their production cannot keep up. So I have to keep getting in Uncrustables. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I'll see this Thursday whether they came in yet. They told me they were supposed to get them in last Friday. I did not get them Monday. We'll see what happens this Thursday. But they, instead of being round, they're kind of an oblong. They're the same makeup, they're just not a round sandwich. They're a whole grain with grape jelly and peanut butter. They can also choose a 4-ounce yogurt. They can also use a string cheese. And we also have that the kids can make a chef salad if they want to. The ladies have ham, diced turkey, and they've also got shredded cheese that the students can get from them. So if the students want to just make a salad, they can make a salad for their lunch. Does that help?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if that changed because
Nope.
with the primary school trying to go and Calorie, peanut free, I wasn't sure if that was still a choice of hot lunch.
We have peanut-free tables that are designated, so we ask the students to sit with those students, not to have peanuts, and in one building it's peanuts and milk. And then we make sure that we have fresh sanitary water, and that's the first table with a fresh towel that we clean so there is no residue on it. Yes, ma'am.
Someone a parent had asked me, will all pork items always be acknowledged on the menu? I looked and saw a little key that
Yes.
looks like that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
answered yes.
Yes.
I'm fine. I saw it on the keys. Use my strategies.
Any other
Anybody
questions?
I'm sorry, how are they identified as having pork?
There is a little key over here on the side,
Oh, I see, okay,
and
gotcha.
you can reference back to the menu items.
Okay.
Oh, and the other thing I'm going to let you guys know is this year we are going to a turkey frank from Farmland. It is incredibly low in fat, much lower in sodium, and it tastes almost exactly the same as the other Farmland. I tried them when I went to the National School Food Service Show in Kansas. Right now I have to special order them, so I have 30 cases of them sitting in my freezer at school because I didn't know how long it would take to get them, but they're very good. I'm just not sure if I should menu them that way because I don't want kids to go, ew, it's turkey. It's very good and they won't even know the difference. we already served it to the freshmen on the first day of school and not one of them said a word. So just so you know, I'm doing what I can to cut back on the sodium and cut back on the fat.
The food service program here in McFarland is superb. And these are like homemade cooked meals sometimes, and the kids just love them. And they're very attractive and nutritious, so thanks to the food service for providing such a great meal.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move along to a market day presentation, and that's with Amy Lawrence. who heads our Market Day fundraising efforts, and it's a great opportunity to make life easy for you around your dinner table as well. So, fire away.
All right, thank you. So I am one of the co-chairs of the Market Day fundraiser. We've got a little table set up over here with some free samples. There's chocolate chip cookies, our goldfish grams, and fruit snacks. So please take some home with you for your kids. Help yourselves. So you have probably, hopefully, gotten your Market Day order form in the last week or so. And for those of you who've been here for a while, you're pretty familiar with Market Day, but for kindergarten families who are new to the district, just wanted to give you a little information about Market Day. Basically, it's a monthly sale that is a fundraiser for our schools. We earn a percentage of the profit, and that percentage is based on how much we sell. So the more we sell, the higher our profit percentage can be. In the past, we typically earn about $5,000 a year from Market Day, so it does make a big difference. And you don't have to do necessarily anything other than buying food. And there's a great variety. There's lots of frozen vegetables, there's meats, snacks, as you can see over there. They do some special sales throughout the year with cookie dough and desserts that are really fabulous. Let's see, what else can I tell you? The other thing that I wanted to let you know is that it's a great way to volunteer. Even if you decide you don't want to purchase any of those items, you can help us out by volunteering at our sales each month. So each month the food is delivered, we unpack the food, sort it out, and then pack everyone's orders. So we need people to help us with that. We also need people to call our customers the day before the sale to remind them to come pick up their items. So that's something you can even do from home. Does anybody have any questions about Market Day?
What are the most popular?
And I think there are some flyers over there. I know some of the most popular items, the chicken steaks, if you've seen those, they're chicken breasts that are individually wrapped, so they're super convenient, very healthy. If you look at your order form, there are items that are marked as Taste for Health, and those are healthy items that fall under a certain number of calories and sodium. The vegetables are very popular. That's one of the big popular ones in my house. I love the broccoli. The broccoli is fabulous. It's all florets, no stems. So my kids will eat that. Some of the other ones, the cookie dough can be very popular when they do those, and the desserts. The snacks are very popular. They have the goldfish grams are a big one. They have string cheese. They have peanut butter and jelly, again, the grandwiches, which, obviously there's an allergy issue there, but those are pretty popular too. But the chicken steaks are probably like the biggest seller. And when those go on sale, we sell boatloads of them, which is fabulous.
Yeah, it works great. I mean, I've had the salmon and a few different things. And the reality of it is that over $3,000 of our fundraising efforts come through Market Day, which is a huge portion of our fundraising efforts through the year. So the more that we can utilize it, the better it is for us to go and help the schools as well. So it's kind of a win-win. And they do a lot of work there too. So any volunteer help when it comes to Market Day is really greatly appreciated. So anybody that's looking to step up and help out in volunteering modes, feel free to contact us and we'll get you in the right channels to help out right away.
There's some little volunteer slips over there on the table too. You can just fill out and send with your kid back to school.
Perfect. And we do have free babysitting available, but sometimes the kids that come along will actually help, and we love that. It's great to see them help and chip in, get involved. So your kids are welcome there. It's a great way to, if you like organizing, this is the fundraiser for you.
Okay, now we're going to come to the meat of the batting order here, and we're going to have the principals give us some reports, and we're going to start with Sue Murphy over there.
All right. First of all, as always, this group is so great at helping us in so many ways. All the money you raised last year has supported a lot of projects. You'll notice new risers this year. Also quite a bit of technology we purchased with the money. We got some of the keyboards for our iPads. We don't need them for everyone, but it's nice to have like a class set of those. So a lot of the funds went to that, and we also use it for our mentor program, where we mentor students who need a little extra support. We use it for supplies for some of our students if we need extra supplies. And we also use it for our performing arts assemblies. We've had different people come in and perform. A year ago, we had the Norwegian dancers come, and they're not super expensive because they're high school students, but some of our other performances are a little more expensive, and we use the PTO funds to support those programs. So it's great. It's used in a lot of different ways. We have some upcoming events. A lot of it, some testing coming up, which, as you know, that's kind of the route the state is having us go. So September 23rd to the 4th, all of our students will be taking their measures of academic progress assessment. That's on the computer, and that gives us a pretty good idea in math and reading. And then we will also have, starting at 3rd grade, is the state test called the WKCE test, and that will occur probably in early November. I'll send something out that has the weeks for that. And at 4th grade, it's quite extensive. They have to take sciences, social studies, and reading and writing and math. At 3rd and 5th, it's just reading and math, but it does take usually 3 to 4 days at least, even for those 2 grades, to do all the testing parts. We have some upcoming field trips. Our 5th graders are going to the McKenzie Center on October 2nd. Our 4th graders are going to Old World, Wisconsin on the 11th. And as I mentioned earlier, on the 17th, we have our Welcome to Waubesa open house for our 3rd graders. It's a 3rd grade / related arts. The students do perform at that open house on October 17th. I guess that's it there. We do have our PBIS in full swing again, but I think most of you know what that is already. At the primary school, it's Spartan Stars, and here it's Waubesa Power as our focus. There'll be a slightly different focus at each school as you go through. So that continues. We had a big kickoff with that, with our figureheads performing last Friday. We had a big assembly, which the kids loved. I don't know how they can perform that rap. I personally am not able to do that, but he was well liked by the children, that's for sure. And then we have, I just needed to know if, I don't know if this is the form for it or not, but we had our first time with online registration. We already have a list of things that need to be done differently as far as like you getting an email back so it acknowledges that yes, it worked. Because I know there were some people that were unsure, and there were some other little glitches that we already know about, but would this be the forum for that, or should we?
Yeah, sure, no, if there's any,
if there are things you
stuff
can,
to the advisory committee, but if anybody has anything here, that's why we're here, yeah.
Yeah, anybody think of anything, besides that it would have been nice to know for sure that everything you did, if you went online, actually went through. Anything you can think of related to that online process. Would you like us to continue to do it that way, would you say, compared to picking up packets? But we still have the packet option.
Yeah, no, the online is great.
Yeah, I think one challenge is that just a little over 50% of our families have paid their fees. So we're in the process of contacting all those families. So that's an impact that we had not anticipated. I'm not sure what your
Ours is quite a bit higher, but yeah.
I think the fees were a surprise to most people too, so that came as like a big shock. So if that's known before even the end of the school year, so people can budget for it. It was a big change for people in McFarland, that there were fees at the elementary school.
We haven't had it since 2004, I believe.
Yeah, so there's not many people left that probably had kids.
So
We talked about actually
through the
collecting
online
them in
thing,
the spring this next
weren't you
year.
able to pay the fee online with your registration?
Yes.
Yeah, but it didn't work at first, so there was a system problem at first.
There's some kinks in this.
Okay,
And
so
then-
it wasn't like people didn't want to, they just couldn't, and now you're
Well,
trying
and then
to
some
catch
people
up.
might not have paid because you didn't have to pay right then. You could
Okay.
leave and come back, and if you never came back, or I don't know if the thing sent you a message saying you haven't paid your fees, come back and pay them. I don't know.
That'll be coming up very shortly.
Be able to keep track of that. Okay.
Yes.
So anything else, Sue, with school startup?
Yeah, no, we
Bus
feel like it's up to a great start. Yes.
Just add a suggestion for
Yeah.
the registration.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a way that the software can save information you've entered along the way?
Yeah,
But if you
some
don't
other
finish-
people said if they, or if they went to one of the attachments, which sometimes it just told you, by the time you got back, you were off. That's a great suggestion. Save along the way in case, because there are a lot of handouts on there, a lot of clicking.
Anything else, Sue? Any other questions for Sue?
No, just thank you for your continued support. We're excited about the
I
start.
have a question, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
okay. No.
Okay, so my son's other issue so far
Yeah.
is he believes that there has been a change in the recess schedule for Waubesa. Is that true?
Fifth
Is there less
grade-
recess?
Fifth grade has their recesses back to back. So normally they did a 15-minute after lunch and then another 15-minute at a different time. They're all together. So he only has one, but it's extra long.
We don't like that.
No.
Was that a deliberate change or has it always been that way?
We did it last year, starting last year with our fifth graders,
And
yes.
did people complain about it or did they like it? They like that?
No, the nice thing about it is it's fewer transitions. We have, it increases instructional time. Because when you bring them in from recess, that always takes time. Well, then if you let them out another time and bring them back in, now even though the recess is 15 minutes, it's actually 25 of lost instructional time. Whereas if they go out right after they eat, you only have that 5-minute loss. So it's to increase the number of minutes of instructional time.
Okay. Have the teachers noticed any, like, do they feel like the kids are handling it okay? Like not having breaks in the morning or?
They haven't said
Haven't said
anything to
anything?
me. At least 3 days a week, they'll have Phys Ed in the morning for
Yeah.
fifth grade. And some teachers will do like just a little movement within their classroom if they don't have any kind of movement opportunity. But usually, like for fifth grade, somewhere between 10:15 and 12:15 before their lunch, they're going somewhere else. They're going to art, they're going to, so they're not just sitting in their own classroom the whole time.
Well, welcome to PTO. It's been another successful start of the school year. Very trying, though, for our incoming kindergarten students. This is the first year where we've had full-day kindergarten starting the first day. Historically speaking, we've always had incoming kindergarten students on a half-day status for the first week, just to get them acclimated to, first of all, the school structure, the daily structure, all the routines. But with 4K having been implemented last year, we thought this would be a good year to start full day, first day. But there are some surprises to that too, as far as the stamina of kids. They only can take so much. Secondly, we start bombarding them with so many different things that first day that after 2 or 3 hours, it's sort of lost. So we're going to talk about what we might do a little differently next year with that. Some upcoming events. The first grade team is into the swim program this week, so 5 days a week. Second grade swim program starts next week. So again, if you have kids, just make sure they bring their towels and their swimsuit, and we'll be all set. And with our school, we walk back and forth from our school to the high school, unless it's inclement weather, and then we get the buses. So they get a little walking exercise also. Sue talked about student assessments coming up for her students. We also will have student assessments. Last year was the first time that we had standardized assessment at the kindergarten level. The state is requiring the PALS assessments for the phonological awareness pre-reading test. This year they've extended it to the first grade level. So now it's K1. Next year we anticipate it will go to grade 2. Last year, the MAP, Measurement of Academic Progress, that Sue was talking about, was implemented at the kindergarten level. So now K1 and 2 students will have MAP for reading and math, both in the fall and the spring. And that's new as of last year. September 26th, if you have any of the students in the one-to-one classrooms on our campus, we have 2 second grade classrooms where all the students in that classroom use iPads. We're going to have a parent night for that, but it only applies to those parents that have kids in the one-to-one. And just so that you sort of know the sequence of that, last year was one class. This year it's 2 classes. Next year it'll be 4 classes, all second grade. And the following year it'll be all 8 secondary classrooms. And there's a similar sequence across the district for that. In announcements, if you've been on the elementary campus last year, this year, you'll notice that there's no outside sign right now. PTO purchased the sign for us a few years ago, but due to the reconstruction a year ago with the new traffic loops and some lighting, they had to go underground and they had to remove that sign. A new sign will be installed, should be within a couple weeks, on the east side of Conrad Elementary School. It'll be attached right to the wall. And the plan is next summer we'll attach something similar to MPS, either out in front or through the traffic loop. But it'll probably be attached to the building also. Enrollment right now is about 160 students per class. Again, we're 8-track. We have 8 K1, 2, and Sue has 8-track too, I think. 160 is about the average grade size. That's 160 plus a few students. The beginning of the year picnic, if you have kids on the K2 campus, it's part of our PBIS kickoff. Last year we did the very first day of school, first full day of school for our first and second grade students. Kindergarten was not included because they weren't here for the afternoon. This year we backed that up for a couple days to include kindergarten students. So we had that first Friday, the picnic, and actually it was cooked inside. Though we sort of changed plans for our kindergarten students because they had trouble just finding the cafeteria, so going outside and in their tray that was pretty much a challenge for them. But we did cancel the first grade picnic because of the bees out there. So it was based on the recommendation from our health services. And again, we rely on our health services to provide guidance to us during the school day for anything that might be health related that we should be aware of and try to be as proactive as possible. The ice cream social went well for the EC through 2, EC, 4K, and 5K, well attended. It was a little warm, so the ice cream started to melt a little. Next year, we're going to be serving ice cream in bowls, or small dishes, and spoons to avoid that. There's been discussion last week at our building council, which covers early childhood through second grade, and there's a suggestion of having early childhood, 4K, 5K, first and second grade ice cream social on our campus next year, rather than having the primary students over here. And that's something that we'll talk to PTO about in the future. We do share families, but we do have a lot of families self-contained on our campus also. There's pros and cons to that. What kindergarten did this year, like they did last year, is that on the night of the ice cream social, the parents were encouraged to bring their students school supplies, come into the building, drop them off on a table by their child's classroom door, and then go outside and enjoy the ice cream. And we would like to try something similar to that for K2 next year. See how it goes. That way, the first day of school, we don't have to worry about the school supplies, and most everything is taken care of. But there'll be a little more discussion about that. Speaking of the very first day of school, at our building council, again, the building council is composed of all our team leaders. This is the school governance body for our campus. All buildings have them. We talked about the first day of school last week, and what evolved was this, is that we had so much information to share with parents on the first day, building security, the new pilot as far as the peanut/tree-nut-free classrooms, etc., that some parents felt that they didn't get some of their questions answered. So the question I have for you, and again, we don't have to discuss it tonight, but just because we'll bring it back up in the spring, is as parents, when you come to school that very first day, what type of information do you find most useful? Because if we're giving you a lot of information, but you have other priorities, other information you want to know, we can readjust that. And we can deliver that other information that we typically give you through another means. So just something to think about. The mobility of our students is rapidly changing, where we have kids coming and going more frequently than ever before. So rather than lose someone through the cracks or where we miss some communication, health services recommend and asked if we would pilot it this year, and we agreed to do that. So far it's going well. Appreciations, the swing sets are great. That's how we allocated designated the PTO funds from last year. We created 2 new banks of 4 swings each, And they're removed from the existing swing structure, so it has helped immensely with the congestion around the swing sets, and the lines have been minimal now for that kid, and the swings are always moving. Secondly, I appreciate you having your students prepared for school on the first day of school. It's a huge transition. Coming off of summer where there's a lot of lack of structure, to all of a sudden they hit that structure and that full day and all the other responsibilities. And again, we certainly appreciate your compliance and patience with the new security system. The security system is a result of parents requesting an upgrade along with staff to improve the safety measures of all students in the buildings. And we know it's sort of a burden when you come in at times, and you come in, we know who you are, but again, we are requesting that all visitors follow the same procedure. Come in, sign the check-in book, who you're going to see the time, put on a visitor badge, it's the apple, and it's consistent across the district. Ring the little buzzer, just hold your driver's license up to the camera there, and then we see that and then we'll buzz you in. So, just so that you know, we do have frequent visitors, like the mailman every day. We have after-school daycare. We have some other people that come to school almost every day. And we'll be providing them some, I don't have mine here, like an ID pass, so they don't have to go through all those procedures every day when they come in. They'll just have to swipe their card, just like a staff member. But those cards will be time sensitive. Okay, doesn't mean they can enter the building anytime. After school daycare, we know they'll be able to use their clocks like from 2:40 to 6 o'clock. We're also thinking about providing parents who have children in after school daycare something similar also. Because right now we unlock the doors at dismissal and they remain unlocked. There's been no school violence in any school that we're aware of during the school day. That's why, like I said, beyond the school day. That's why we still have, we unlock the doors at dismissal time. But there's concern about maybe we can be a little more proactive than that. So again, the security measures will continue to evolve here, not only on our campus, but throughout the whole district. Some of our classes do Super Kids reading program, and there's Happily Ever After for the 4K program, and that's what they use also. So there's, the 4K, well, first of all, the preschools, historically speaking, have done a really nice job at trying to figure out what we want kids to be able to know and demonstrate when they come into kindergarten. That was only strengthened this past year, makes it 4K. There's a close collaboration between 4K. 5K is trying to get more of a partnership with them, and it's been working. My perception is this, though. I overestimated our students who participate in 4K programs, specifically when it dealt with their stamina and just their ability to be around in the building, expecting them just to be able to catch up on similar routines and all that. I was way off base with that. So it was a good learning experience, and I think many staff were sort of caught off guard. We just made the assumption, since they were in school for a year, this would just be another step in their journey, and actually we have to take a step backwards, and we'll readjust for next fall.
Anything else for Tom?
But thank you for all your ongoing support. Appreciate it.
Okay, excellent, great. Thanks for all your effort too. All right, great. All right, so moving along, we're gonna have a short discussion on any recommendations for use of the PTO funds that we're gonna provide for the schools. The principals will put a lot of thought into it and always have great ideas and needs that we're more than willing to put forth the funds for, but we just want to open it up right at the start of the year here to anybody that's here that has any ideas of what we might want to use PTO funds that we'll have available for this year. So is there anybody that has any ideas or wanted to share anything? Probably as we move forward a little bit further into the year, we'll have better ideas from both principals as to what they're looking for, and then we can always present that to everybody as well, so they know what things are going to be earmarked for. Do you guys have any idea what you're kind of thinking of for this year's funds?
I saw input from our staff, and tomorrow building council and
Okay.
school governance council.
So you'll have some.
We're going to be talking about any other ideas that are out there, but the ideas that have been shared so far include the following. New sound system for the gym for school assemblies, music programs, and performing arts. But again, we have to clearly identify the purpose of the PTO funds. Either go directly to the kids that they can take advantage of, or school things. Sensory tools for the classroom, such as cue chairs, fidgets, sitting balls, weights. is all kids can benefit from those types of things. And those are sort of small ticket items, but if you want to outfit 24 classrooms, all of a sudden that small cost becomes a huge cost. Additional technology for student use, iPads specifically. What a roof shade over parts of the playground. A roof shade is all like the bocce ball courts there, and they can be made out of different types of material or whatever. That's another thing. Possibly a couple trees for the playground to provide shade. We do have one big shade tree on the primary school, it's along the fence line. And again, with us being more cognizant of the sun rays and ultraviolet rays, we do have more kids wearing sunglasses and caps, and that's certainly acceptable for us. And then performing arts events throughout the year. That's a preliminary list from our campus. And I know Waubesa is willing to donate their portion to our campus.
So,
Yeah, that'll work out well for him. Yeah. Now, we've talked about the playground equipment. We see a decline each year as they go through their grades here in use of it. It gets pretty heavily used. Well, you do playground supervision. It gets very heavily used in 3rd grade, a little less in 4th, and very little in 5th. So if you have an idea for a piece of playground equipment that you think this age group would use, that might be worth conversation, because that's one of the areas we always talk about. Is there something we need for there? And for sure our 5th grade teachers are not throwing any ideas out because the kids aren't playing on that equipment very much, like they do in 3rd. So if you ever think of anything there, we'll take those suggestions. Otherwise, we always, the things I had shared earlier, the continuing for performing arts and the technology needs, that's continuous really for us. So those will always be on the list, but if you have something specific, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, you can email myself directly too, or anybody, you can let us know if you have some idea that you come up with or something that's shared from your children or other parents or whatever. We're open, the funds are given to them and the funds are used at their discretion for what's most important to them, and it's been great all along. So, well, if anybody else have anything else there? If not, then it leads us right into another one of we have lots of things to fundraise for, so we want to. Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
You both mentioned performing arts, but do you have anything specific in mind that the funds are needed for?
We don't right now. We have a performing arts committee that will brainstorm ideas for what we'd like to bring in each year. We try to rotate it a little bit so that it's not, like if we had Stoughton dancers last year, we won't bring them this year. We try to have it be varied. But we've had Opera for the Young. We've had...
You're not looking for any costumes or anything then, right?
We bring in people to,
right.
to try to give them different opportunities in music or theater, or somebody's looking into a dance company, which actually has some of our children in our school within the program. So that's one idea that was thrown out there. So it varies, whatever that committee kind of looks at for ideas. And some performing groups are $1,000 for a one shot, and others, like I said, I think the Stoughton Norwegian dancers are $200 or something like that. So it really varies.
Okay, so we have Kelly Easty here, who was on the advisory committee for many years, and we had tons of fun doing things together. And she's taken over the Cash for Trash. And, we have a nickname for her, but we don't have to share that here. We have a lot of fun with it, but she's been doing a great job. And this is, again, one of our largest, besides our no hassle fundraiser, one of our greatest sources of income to provide to the schools. And this is, again, one of the simplest ones to do. And so we're going to turn over to Kelly for some more information on that.
Thanks, Jeff. I just took over the Cash for Trash program this last month, so I'm pretty new to it, and we're always open for suggestions or ideas that anyone has. I brought some of the products to show you that we collect. The Box Tops for Education is the one program. You can see they're on quite a few different products. I just brought some things I had in my cupboard. They're pretty tiny in some cases. I think this one has 2 Box Tops for Education. Along with some products having 2 labels, there are also programs going on at Pick and Save in McFarland and COPS on occasion, and they will put those in their weekly flyers where they will give you bonus box tops for buying a certain number of Box Tops products. So we try to post that information on the PTO Facebook site to let you know that that is going on, so we can collect additional Box Tops. We also collect labels for education. You can see it on the bottom of this Post product, and they're a little bit bigger. This one's worth 1 point. And then we, in addition to the tops you cut out, we do collect some milk moolah, milk tops from, this particular program is from Quick Trip. And then they also have the plastic bags. I don't know if anybody buys bagged milk, but you can cut off the tops of the plastic bags and turn those in. Each of the schools has an area where we collect. It's called the Cash for Trash program. In Waubesa, it's right by the cafeteria here, and we're working on changing that area a little bit, making it clearer for the students to see when they bring in trash. And in MPS, it is right by the secretary's desk. And at Conrad Albion, I think it's still, I haven't been in there since they changed it. It's in the new office. And most times people just send their trash in with their students and they can put it into the bin. This has been a pretty good moneymaker. I just looked up some of the numbers from last year. Box Tops, we earned $7,604. Jenny Heaton-Amrine is our Box Tops coordinator for Waubesa. For the labels for education, we earned, and the number I'm not sure if it's correct, but it said $13,633. So that's big. Milk caps is a little bit less. We earned $517. And one of the things I wanted to mention about milk caps, we did collect, up until last year, Morning Glory milk caps, Land O'Lakes, Swiss Valley, Kemp's, Golden Guernsey. All of those programs are ending. Morning Glory is ending October 31st. Land O'Lakes is October 31st. Morning Glory is ending October 1st, so we'll be putting out a little note for people to get in their caps for Morning Glories if they still have them. Swiss Valley is changing to Prairie Farms, so we will be updating that information on the PTO website. Kemp's is done. It was sold to another company, and Golden Guernsey, as Sherry mentioned, went bankrupt in the spring. So we're still trying to find out what, if anything, we can do with all the caps we've collected for those. But the Quick Trip program is still running, and that's the one we've always collected most for, I believe. And they're very flexible about the condition the milk caps and bags come in, so please keep them coming, and we can send them in any time. They have a great program. So, other than that, we also collect printer cartridges, and Jenny handles that as well. We do get a little bit of money from that. I think in our other category, we earned $141 last year, and that was probably mostly from maybe Tyson labels. Tyson labels is another one we collect. We don't get many of those, but the printer cartridges as well, and that's a fairly easy program to turn those in and get money for. The one other thing that we collect, or had been collecting, was cell phones, but I'm not sure if we want to continue doing that. We haven't really earned a lot of money from that program, so.
Haven't been able to work them out on the street or anything?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Come on.
So that's something maybe we want to talk with PTO a little bit more, but Jenny and the other coordinator and I discussed that about whether we should continue with cell phones, because it's kind of a lot of work for not a lot of money. So I think that's about all I wanted to say. Were there any questions about the Cash for Trash program?
The other thing I would say about Box Tops is if you're an online shopper, you like to shop online, if you go through the Box Tops for Education website, and you sign up and you go through them, through the portal. They have hundreds of shops you can go through and you can earn electronic box tops. So for every $10 you spend at Walmart online, you get a box top. And for, different stores, it's 8 box tops for every $10 you spend. Some it's 4. Some right now they're doing double box tops for a group of stores. And so if you shop online anyway, you can go through their portal.
That's right, and that's something we wanted to research a little bit more. Jenny and I were talking about that, and maybe put something on the Facebook site again to get people involved with going online for extra points. That could be a pretty easy way to make money.
In the past, for box tops, we were asked to kind of paste them on a piece of paper, but now you just want them in bags, right?
Yeah, I think we decided that is easier. Most people do it that way anyway. It is easy to count them when they're on the sheets, but yeah, I think we're going to go to just putting them in bags.
And can we mix all different types together, or do you want them separate?
We'd prefer to have the box tops for education separate from the labels for education and from the milk caps, but we'll separate them. We'll do whatever we can do with them.
We have a lot of people
however
who
we
this
get
is
them,
something
we'll
they
take
can do at home to volunteer, so send it in however it's convenient.
And again, volunteers, anybody who would like to help count caps or labels, we could always use help with that as well.
And some kudos go out to Stephanie and her family for doing 16,000 box tops, which earned us $1,600 to start off the year already. So that was some carryover from last year.
Oh, it was fun.
She trimmed them all. She's still talking
Maybe
about
my
it.
husband cut them all nice and pretty, so.
And they're still talking and hanging out together. That's the amazing thing. They have a lot of time together. But so yeah, any help with that, and it's a great and again an easy way for us to generate money throughout the year. So thank you.
There was one other thing. I'm sorry, I was going to say. Again, we're always open to other opportunities. One of the things we talked about as well, or I talked about with Barb, who ran the program before, was putting an article in the Thistle maybe to get the community more involved, even people who don't, grandmas and grandpas, whoever, because we do have 2 community spots to collect box tops. They're not easy to see, but one's in Pick and Save, right down by the newspapers on the floor almost, and the other one is over at the Village Hall. And so maybe we can work on getting those more visible and getting some information out to the rest of the community to collect more.
So do you want those sheets printed out and everything fixed?
No, you don't have to. Just
if you want to.
If you want to, it's helpful.
They're really easy to count, but if you don't want to, we don't want people to feel like they have to. We'd rather just have the stuff.
Yeah, we don't want it to be a detriment to you collecting we'd rather just get the stuff, yeah.
Does the PTO get the target 5%?
Yes.
That is a program too as well.
We're developing that program that's ongoing right now. And we're going to be looking at some other programs too that we can use, that you can do prepaid cards and stuff that will also generate income for us. And we'll probably present some of those new fundraising topics at the next meeting, I would think, when we have them in place.
The Target card that you mentioned, and there's like a Best Buy card, on the PTO website, there's a little tab that says fundraisers. If you click on that, it gives you all information on how to enroll and the number that you need and stuff like that.
Yeah, we definitely want to pursue all of those programs and increase the revenues from those too, because again, it's sort of like this money that you're going to have to spend necessarily anyway. So, any other questions, someone?
I just think that maybe there's a competition between the Lions Club for the cell phones. I know I give mine to the buckets at the village.
And the library collects them too, I think.
Yeah, don't be messing with the Lions. I'm a Lion.
I just gave you like 3 pairs of glasses the other day.
Thank you. That's great, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yes, our first collection is September 20th, so it's coming up very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot of samples for people to enjoy and trash. That's good, right? We have food, right? But
open taco shells here.
Open taco, there you go. But that's a great program. We want to keep that going. Okay, so we are going to just kind of briefly go over some of the activities that have occurred already, or that are going to be coming up that are PTO either funded or supported or supervised, or we run the actual events. And so we'll start with what has happened already, the ice cream socials, and that's with Christine.
Great turnout for the ice cream social. We had like 600 some people that were in this room and outside, and Culver's gave us all the ice cream for free. We even went back for more, and they gave us more for free because we had the football team come over. So we raised almost double what we did last year. So all that money will go back to the schools. And then the Great Pumpkin Party is a smaller event that we do over at the hotel in Monona, the one right on the Beltline. It's a program for disabled and special needs kids to go trick-or-treating because it's hard for them to get up, the stairs to a person's house on Halloween night. So they open up the first floor of the hotel and the kids get to go through to different rooms and trick-or-treat, and we have a room there that we set up and do kind of a beach theme, and it's a really great event. So that's what that is.
The No Hassle fundraiser, which is going to be starting here at the end of this month, is exactly what it says. It's the No Hassle fundraiser. It's just designed for us to generate donation money, and we are a completely tax-exempt status organization now, so that everything can be matched by employees or it can be tax deductible. And rather than send you home with a bunch of boxes of candy or popcorn or other things that you have to generate income for, we just say, why don't we make it simple and just send some money through the system? And this will go out to all three of the campuses with a handout and through other different portals that we'll ask for. So that's our largest fundraiser by far of the year. It's our easiest fundraiser, obviously, and it's just a great way to have people make it easy to contribute. So any dollar amount is completely acceptable, and we'll keep continuing to push that. That's just a way to get the base to be able to provide some of the other stuff. The Teacher Appreciation Program, the TAP, this is designed to provide the teachers when they're doing conference meetings with your families and children, to get some food and some appreciation for all their efforts and things like that. But if anybody wants any cookbooks, they're great little snack, they're just healthy snack books, and they're $15, and you can pay out to the PTO. So with that, we have a treasurer's report. Lisa is under surgery, I believe, or recovering today. So she just wanted me to report that the current balance in the checking account is $4,663.51. And we haven't had a lot of activity yet this year, other than just a few of the cookbook sales and things like that. We've got some profit loss details for the first couple of days of the year if you want to see those. Our calendar year starts August 1st, so but we're in good shape there. The yearbooks have been already orders because of the online registration. It's been a lot easier for us. That's a great fundraising opportunity for us. It's made it a lot easier this year, and so some of one of the last exciting things we get to do is pick a cover for it, and things are already in place there really well. So we'll be able to make that very seamless and make sure everybody can get an opportunity for yearbooks. So with that stuff being covered already, we're in a really good start of the year financially to be able to stick to our goals. So. Anybody else have anything they want to add to tonight's meeting? Okay, so we need a motion for adjournment, and we'll have our meeting complete. Anybody?
So moved.
Moved? Okay. And a second? Second, Jen. Okay, and your name, sir?
Steve.
Oh, you did? Steve? Okay, great. Thank you very much for coming. We'll see you in a couple months.